Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories that tracking for you on Thursday, the 31st of December. A Bangladesh court awards death sentence to two for secular blogger murder. Two militants killed in an encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. And Afghanistan authorities express concerns over growing drugs trade. And now for all the details. Indian security forces on Thursday gunned down two militants in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama district. The gun battle that began on Wednesday night ensued for several hours before the militants of Pakistan-based terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba were eliminated.
The two militants were killed in a joint operation by the Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police in the Pulwama district of South Kashmir on Thursday. A preliminary probe revealed that the militants were working under the Hizbul outfit. On Wednesday night, security forces surrounded Gusu village in Pulwama district following reports that two militants were hiding inside a house there.
Initial inputs दो के ही थे और दो ही हमने eliminate किया.
तो
एलईटी के लिए काफी ये बड़ा झटका है बिकॉज काफी इस महीने में खासकर एंड द लास्ट फ्यू मंथ्स काफी टेररिस्ट रैंक को हमने एलिमिनेट किया है.
2 AK-47 rifles, 4 magazines of AK-47 and other ammunitions were recovered from the site of the encounter. Although levels of violence have come down in India's Kashmir in the last decade, the region still witnesses attacks by militants in the region. India accuses neighbouring Pakistan of training and arming militants and infiltrating them across the de facto border called the Line of Control dividing Kashmir. Although it has provided many evidences over the years, Pakistan denies the allegations.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh. A Bangladesh court on Thursday sentenced two students to death on charges of murder of secular blogger Rajiv Haider. The court also gave 5-year imprisonment for militant outfit Ansarullah Bangla team chief Mufti Jaishamuddin Rahmani and various jail terms for 5 others in the case. Ahmad Rajiv Haider, 35, was hacked to death by machete-wielding attackers in February 2013 near his house at Mirpur in the first of a string of killings targeting secular writers. He became a target of the group after he helped launch a mass protest against the leaders of Jamaat-e-Islami, several of whom are accused of war crimes during Bangladesh's 1971 independence struggle against Pakistan. Moving on, Afghanistan authorities have expressed concerns over the increase in drug production and trafficking in Afghanistan. The country is the largest illicit opium and cannabis producer in the world. A report.
At least 473 incidents related to drug trafficking and production in Afghanistan have been registered in 2015 by Afghanistan's Counter-Criminal Narcotics Justice Task Force or CJTF. Nearly 4.5 tons of heroin, 35 pounds of morphine, 24.5 tons of opium, over 158 tons of hashish, 30,107 litres of alcoholic beverages, 136 light and heavy weapons and 275 vehicles were confiscated in 9 months of this year, said Ahmad Khalid Mohid, a spokesperson for CJTF. Over 598 people have been arrested by the task force in the connections of these cases this year. The drug trade continues to undermine the security of the country as it is one of the major sources of Taliban's funding. Kandahar, Helmand and Nangarhar, where there is a stronghold of the Taliban, are among the top provinces where drugs are produced and smuggled in 2015. CJTF officials have also urged the international community to help Afghanistan to overcome the drug problem. Many analysts believe that the withdrawal of foreign troops from Afghanistan has also affected the Afghan government's counter-narcotics campaign in the past year.
In neighboring Pakistan, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif clearly denied curtailing the ranges' powers in the Sindh province. Chief Minister Qaim Ali Shah, during a meeting with Sharif in Islamabad on Wednesday, argued that the federal government must respect the resolution adopted by the Sindh Assembly to restrict ranges' policing powers. However, Prime Minister stated that the Karachi operation will continue with its present contours, for which the federal government has already issued a notification. He also assured Shah that the federal government will look into the concerns of his government. The Sindh Assembly had earlier passed a resolution imposing limitations on military in Karachi that had apparently set up a showdown between the powerful military and the civilian government. But federal government rejected the resolution. Even though Rangers operation in Karachi had brought down its sky-high murder rates, critics say the campaign has increased the number of extrajudicial killings. The stay of Afghan refugees in Pakistan has been extended. Pakistan had earlier set up a deadline for the return of Afghan refugees to their country by 31st December.
Pakistan's Interior Minister Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan has said that the government has extended the period of stay of Afghan refugees in the country. The deadline for the return of Afghan refugees to their country was on Thursday. Khan told the Senate that it is not possible for the government to forcefully send back the 3 million people. He added that the Afghan government had constantly been pressing Islamabad to extend the stay period of the refugees. Earlier this year, Pakistan had begun deporting the undocumented asylum seekers, claiming that they were illegal immigrants. But human rights activists had raised serious concern over the matter. Last month, the Human Rights Watch also asked Pakistan to take necessary action in limiting police harassment against Afghan refugees living in the country. Pakistan government is obligated to ensure that the Afghans taking refuge in Pakistan are being treated with dignity and respect in compliance with domestic and international laws. Most of the refugees migrated to Pakistan decades ago to escape persecution from the hardline Taliban regime and have been living in cities like Peshawar. They make ends meet by engaging in minuscule job or running small businesses.
The overall employment in selected labor-intensive sectors of India has seen a net addition of 1.15 million jobs during April 2012 to March 2015 period. A report.
In schools and in colleges, India has got a bank of talent waiting to be unleashed. With more than 50% of its population below 25, India's workforce and employment rate is growing rapidly. According to a national survey, India's workforce grew by 10 million to 470 million jobs in a decade. Yet for an economy so heavily reliant on farming, the agriculture sector has not seen much of these gains. Experts say the reason is simple. There is barely any money to be made.
Everybody wants dignity, prestige and good life. But all these things are absent here in agriculture sector because government's attention is not at all to this sector. Various schemes of the government is not beneficial for the real farmer, and the scheme is only for the not for farmer, it is for bureaucrats and politicians.
Little wonder that many choose to leave their farms behind, seeking greener pastures in the city. One big attraction, the service industry, which saw the number of jobs increase more in the manufacturing sector in 3 years.
So service industry has got a lot of growth potential. I mean, if you ask me very precisely, service industry is contributing a larger chunk of the revenue to the Indian economy with a lot of growth potential for the youth working in this particular industry, and also a potential which is getting created after a new government coming in. Also basically the older government created the service sector is contributing a larger component to the GDP of the country. That is why I have decided to basically work in the service industry.
Observers say while encouraging service sector growth, the government should not ignore rural areas and agriculture on which hinges the country's economy. But consistency in income does not mean quality of life. Many who leave their villages often land in jobs that are brutally tough. But yet, once they move, many still continue to stay. Because unlike villages, where farming is all they have, a city offers other options no matter how hard.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. A Bangladesh court awards death sentence to 2 for secular blogger murder. 2 militants killed in an encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. And Afghanistan authorities express concerns over growing drugs trade. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.